when people switch to a new diet, they feel better and they become a true proponent of that diet and really believe in that diet. And then after a while, that effect diminishes. And then when you switch another diet, that changes. Could you elaborate and tell our listeners what were you talking about?
Yeah, obviously when you're dealing with people that aren't well, right, diet plays a role. I think one of the misconceptions today is everyone's looking for the perfect diet. But I'll tell you this, the perfect diet or the people, at least the diet that people defend or say this is the diet, is typically the one that helped them, right? Look, if it were only so easy there too, because what we know is there is no one perfect diet. And the truth is, if you stay on one diet, the same diet, even a great diet, whatever that is to you, in the end, you start to lose diversity in the microbiome. And again, I don't know your viewers how educated they are about the microbiome. There's a lot of more sophisticated tests looking at these good and bad bacteria that make up our gut, which we call the microbiome, right? The testing has really not brought maybe what we thought. We thought we'd be able to look at people and say, oh, this diet's for you because you're microbiome. These drugs are for you because you're microbiome, not for you. Didn't work out that way because what we know is the microbiome changes so often, right? But what we did gain from the better testing is that diversity. We can now look at people and say, healthy, less healthy, based on the diversity, meaning this diverse microbiome of all different types of bacteria that happens in healthy people. Unhealthy people, we see very lack of diversity. So then we have to ask the question is why? Why do we see that? And then we have to ask the question, how can we recreate it? I wish it were so simple to say just take probiotics and add diversity. It's not so simple. Otherwise, we wouldn't have all these people with gut problems because most people are taking probiotics today. It's not. What we learned is diet change actually is the key to creating a greater diversity. And that's a principle that I now teach called diet variation, meaning that we literally move people in and out of different diets. So I believe there's not one perfect diet. I believe the perfect diet is the change. So to your point, what I said was when people first change their diet, they seem to, always do a little better. I mean, they may have some, negative side effects, at first because there's a die-off, etc. But ultimately they go, oh my gosh, I changed to keto. This is my diet. This helped me. And so now they're keto forever. I'm arguing not just from the scientific literature, but even looking at ancient, very healthy cultures. No one culture ever stays on the same diet. They're forced to change, which turns out to be a blessing for this microbiome diversity. But people tend to stay on that diet. I changed to a vegan diet or a vegetarian diet. Man, I lost 20 pounds, blah, blah, this, and then here they are years later still on the same diet with now new problems that they wouldn't associate with the diet because the diet helped them so much. Carnivore diets are in vogue right now. And yes, I use them for, people with autoimmune, magic with carnivore diets. However, when you stay on them, we know that it has a really negative effect on microbiome diversity and other problems start to occur. How long somebody can stay on one particular diet before they start developing new problems? I would say, yeah, maybe genetics play a role there and other factors. But ultimately, what we know is that when cultures change their diet, leads to a more diverse microbiome and ultimately better immunity, better brain, better everything that we know is linked to a healthy microbiome.